yeah, I forgot to tell you. This is the reason I ran away from Red Alert. Because I can copy the shape and abilities of Reploids. But it's far from perfect. Even with the copy shot, I can only copy the form of Reploids my own size. For the rest, it's only possible to copy their abilities.
Where did you learn such a skill?
That's the thing. Even I don't know where I picked this up.
You don't know? How could you not know?
Dunno. I don't remember. Red found me, and I've been defeating enemies ever since.
And welcome to part 4 of Mega Man X7. After that nice bit of a plot exposition, we're going to go to the radio tower to face Tornado Tonion, who is weak against Soldier Stone Khan's weapon. And yes, we are going in weakness order because, you know, I just don't care. I don't want to go in a harder way, even though X7, I find, is pretty damn easy. Regardless, the radio tower is basically one giant vertical level, and I find the best way to get past all the baddies, just keep dashing, keep jumping, and you'll find yourself passing the enemies and passing all the enemies' attacks and making sure that, you know, you get to the Reploids in time. All the Reploids apparently are, you know, weak-kneed women. Or nurses, I don't know. I didn't know the radio towers employed only women. But I digress. I'm gonna go on a theory. It's never been explained yet, as of X7, X8, X-Command mission, where Axel came from or who invented Axel. We just know that he was born with a copy ability and Red found him and no one knows what the fuck. But you know, Mega Man X was made by Dr. Light, Zero was made by Dr. Wily. I'm gonna go on a random hunch and say maybe, just maybe, hear me out, maybe Axel was created by Dr. Cossack of Mega Man 4. You never know, it could happen. X9, make that a plot point, god damn it. But anyway, folks, now we're at the mini-boss. This mini-boss is all kinds of annoying because sometimes he pops out enough that the fight goes by really quickly. Other times, he keeps hiding in his shell so much that the battle goes on and drags on forever. Basically, you hit the crystal green eye that's popping out, and every now and then he'll shoot missiles or flamethrowers, so you gotta watch yourself. He loves to send out his claws to create walls so that you can't go anywhere, but you can destroy that by shooting or slashing it. And then when he pops his crystal into his shell, he just spins around with the blades and while dipping up and down. So you're not only watching to jump over it, you might have to duck under it depending on how high the blades are, so you gotta watch out. There is one energy pellet, as you can see to the right of me. It's a huge energy pellet. It'll fill a big chunk of your health, so again, remember which characters you're controlling and which characters need the health. Because if Zero's doing fine, you might want to switch out Axel real quick to give him some health or whatnot, you know? You always want to keep your characters with big health. I should have grabbed it at that point, because my health's pretty low as it is. And if you kill the mini-boss without grabbing it, well then you lose it, which is not good. Actually, I think if you go to the next area, your health gets refilled anyway. Well, we're about to find out in like 5 seconds anyway. I'm not sure how Zero attacks the shell creature. I really am not. I think he shoots energy pellets at you and Zero can slash them back at him and that might be it. But, you know, I genuinely try to use either X or Axel. Again, we don't have X at this point, but X is a ranged fighter. And since you have to bring 2 members regardless, you'll have either X or Axel, or maybe both, depending on which characters you choose. Honestly, I'd always bring Zero, because even though Zero is a close-range fighter, and sometimes that's not that useful, it's useful for this section. The bats are best for swiping out of the sky with your Z-Saber. But I find when it comes to the bosses, you always want Zero on hand, because Zero can deal some nice damage to these Mavericks. But anywho, you're going to find I do this a lot in Mega Man X7. I like to just run by all the enemies because 1, they don't do that much damage, honestly. 2, you're going to save yourself a lot of hassle if you just run past enemies half the time in this game. There's no real penalty for it either. There are very few rooms in X7 where you have to kill everyone in the area to proceed. Also, you want to watch where you're going here, because the slightest misstep can make you fall back to the lower platforms, and then you gotta climb up all over again. There's a heart tank coming up, and in order to get the heart tank, you have to stand on the box in which it is hiding, and then fall with it as soon as the box disappears. Oh my god, do we have reappearing, disappearing blocks again? They're usually in the classic series, but here they are in X7, go figure. Reappearing, disappearing blocks. So it disappears, you grab the heart tank, and then you continue on your merry way. Honestly, though, I'm going to tell you up front now, so get pissed at me now, but I didn't find all the energy tanks. I didn't find all, or the sub-tanks, rather. I didn't find... I know where the weapon tank is, but I didn't collect all those sub-tanks. I didn't collect all of the heart containers. And that's because this game is easy and I never bothered to look. Anyway, Maverick time.
Around and around! Welcome to my silly stage! Here goes nothing! Yeah! What? Not funny? But I tried so hard, so hard! Okay, try again, huh? Around and around!
Okay, I get the picture. Let's get this over with.
Oh!
The first homosexual Maverick, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, when you defeated Soldier Stonecon, Zero got a nice guard ability. If you hold the square button, that's all you have to do, is just hold the square button, and Zero will keep out his beam saber, he'll glow green. And right from the get-go, Tornado Tonion likes to spin around doing his tornado move, and Zero just deflects him and takes away half his health in 2 hits. And then he just resorts to doing the same 3 moves over and over again, and that's when you want to whip out Axel, because he'll never tornado into you ever again, like he did the first 2 times. So he has 3 basic moves. He creates this little chain thing that goes down across, then up across. Sometimes it'll go up across and then down across. You gotta keep an eye out for where the chain is. That's fairly easy to dodge though, because it moves so slowly. He'll send a row of shields at you. You jump over it. Not real hard. And then he can just stand in place while becoming a tornado, and really you just stand back and shoot at him. And this boss is also, just like Soldier Stonecon, pretty damn easy. Again, when you know what to do, I don't find any of the Mavericks that particularly challenging. They're not very hard to predict. They do the same thing over and over again. X7's kinda easy in my opinion. If you had trouble with X7, I'm sorry to hear, but honestly I didn't. The only real hard part about this is that you're fighting with the controls and the fact that the camera is now 3D. You have to move the camera with the L1 and R1 buttons, and that is so fucking annoying because you're constantly moving L1 and R1 and shooting the button and dashing, and maybe you're switching the weapon abilities without going to the main menu screen, and you do that by pushing the right analog stick because L1 and R1 are taken now for the camera. And that can get a little bit busy on your fingers. Sometimes dashing and shooting and turning the camera can be a bit of a hassle. That's what makes the 3D battles really fucking annoying. If the camera had just locked on to the Maverick, I wouldn't care, but regardless. By defeating Tornado Tonion, we got Volt Tornado! Basically, Axel surrounds himself with an electric tornado, and it goes out forward and hits enemies, and it's pretty damn good for killing everything around you. Zero gets a nice Shoryuken type upward slash, which we'll be using on the Maverick coming up, and that's also pretty damn awesome. And X has the same thing as Axel. He creates a tornado around him, and yeah. I'm just being silent to look at all these women we've saved. We saved every Reploid in the game, or in the level, rather. There are 16 in each level, and if you saved... And basically that means you have at least 4 levels minimum until you get to unlock X. I unlock them after I beat the 5th level. Sorry, folks, we're not going to see X for a while. But we increased Axel's ability by 30% and Zero's by 50%. So booyah! I'll see you in part 5, and have some more plot, why don't we? Fuck, these menus are slow. God!
Like I said, my friends in Red Alert are all really skilled Reploids.
Except I heard they were mostly criminals.
No! They don't do anything bad. Well, at least most of the time.
What's your point?
I'm serious. They really didn't do bad. Until suddenly everyone changed.
Suddenly? What do you mean?
When the Maverick Hunters, even the Reploids, stopped following Red's orders.